Hello and welcome to another edition of Community Forum. My name is Joseph Feaster. I'm the host of the program. And that little clip that you saw was of our own Stoughton YMCA. And with me today, I have four of the A team from the Y who are going to tell you some of what they've been doing during this COVID experience that we've all had to bear over the past several months. We'll be talking about what they're doing as far as the safety features to get you back into the gym. We're going to talk about membership. We're going to talk about the programming, which is still going on, taking care of our community in so many different ways. And of course, we want to talk about how you can support them. So let me introduce you to the folks who will be speaking to you on this segment of Community Forum. I have with me, in terms of the Vice President of the Stoughton branch, Ellen Green, my dear friend. Next to her is Jessie Keene, who is the Associate Executive Director. Next to Jessie is Kristen Jones, who is the Membership Services Director. And next to Kristen is Sean Morrissey, an Associate Executive Director. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, well, in terms of that sounds so great, and I want folks to recognize that you are sitting right in at the Y. They'll see some people working out back there. I just want to say we'll get their releases later on because I have no intentions of paying them. So therefore, we will nonetheless, but they will be somewhat involved in this segment. So, I think that I probably want to go to Jessie first because I think I want to go to. Yeah, I guess it will be Jessie because I really want folks to understand because in this COVID moment, everyone is concerned. And I see, thankfully, that all of you are together but wearing masks. So I definitely applaud you for that and for following the science and not the politicians. And so while we want to keep our community safe, we want in every respect. Jessie, why don't you talk about what you've implemented here at the Stoughton Y to address that particular issue?
Of course. Thank you, Joseph. Pretty much from the minute we open the day till we finish, we're completely committed to cleanliness. So when a member comes in the Y now, they actually get a disinfectant bottle themselves that they take with them to clean the machines. I will say in my years in fitness, I've never seen anyone clean as much as our members are cleaning now, which is fantastic. After they use the machine, before they use the machine. On top of that, we have certain segments of times when people can use the facility. And then when they're done, we have time for ourselves. Everyone leaves the building and then we clean the entire facility during that break. And we have fogging machines, we have our own spray bottles, and the entire team gets together to make it as clean as possible. Not only that, we track all of our cleaning online from everything from employees' health to cleanliness of every room within the facility. So also on top of that, we have a team of people that are cleaning the machines like we always done. But I'll tell you, Joseph, the gym has never been cleaner than it is now. And also people are required to wear masks at all time when they're working out, except for government guidelines when they're on the cardio equipment. They're allowed to take off their masks then.
I know this for a fact, but I want you to tell our viewing audience, when you say that, is it not now the practice that folks have to make appointments?
Yes, people. So yeah, we fell down. So well, yeah, we have a new reservation system.
Yeah.
At the Y called motionvibe.com, and so it helps us with our capacity limits, so we know who's coming in as well. So it also helps us understand what our members are using for services better too, which is a big plus. So we know if we need to add more group fitness classes, etc.
Yeah, but from the safety standpoint, I want our viewing audience to know the only way that you can now, as a member, frequent the Y, you just can't do a walk-in, you just can't come over, you just can't drive over. You have to do it by way of appointment. And while we're at it, Jessie, how would one make that appointment? Can they do it by email? Do they have to call in? How would a member make the appointment?
I would definitely visit our website, theoldcolonymca.org. On there, you can find our contact us page. If you're a non-member, you'd want to call and we can get you set up for a tour in our system. If you're a member that's looking to come back, you can definitely email us or contact us, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you how to reserve time in our motion by reservation system.
So Joseph, I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but it is a reservation system. And so if somebody were to stop by and they are a member, and they just didn't know how to use the reservation system, they can stop by. We're here to help them. We just have to know, it's all about contact tracing, right? You know that, we know that. So our job is to make sure that if in fact there was any issue ever, that we would be able to communicate with anybody and be able to contact trace. So that's why everybody is in a reservation system. Safety, it's just like restaurants, just like anything else you're doing in today's world. It's all about safety. How do we make sure that we're safe?
Well, that's what I wanted to emphasize in this changed environment. And this is an environment I think that's going to exist going forward. Want our viewing audience and our members to understand that, one, the rule is make a reservation. You don't have the wherewithal to be able to do that, or you forget and you just want to go back to the old ways of just pulling up, driving in, you will be serviced. You may not be able to use the facility at that particular point in time because you will be given an appointment, but you still will be serviced by the staff because Stoughton YMCA is a service or customer service oriented organization. Would that be the correct way I would say it, Ellen? All right. I thought I would. The other thing is, I am sure that there's been some impacts as far as the members. I'm a member and I know some things that I've done with regard to that. But if you would, Kristen, why don't you tell us what's been happening at the membership? I know I've had the opportunity to speak with you when I've come up to the desk during those days when we could do that about membership issues. Can you enlighten our viewing audience some of the things around membership, what the plans are for the future, and in fact, how has it been affected by COVID?
Yeah, thanks, Joseph. Right now, our facility is only open to our members due to the capacity limits that we've had. There have been some changes around the building and with membership itself. So we've opened up a second fitness center, which we're sitting in right now. This is the Studio X, where our group fitness classes used to be. But because we've had to space out the equipment, we've moved like half of the equipment from our main fitness floor into this fitness center here. So there's treadmills, ellipticals, weights for everyone to use here. So they have the choice of using either the main fitness studio or the Studio X. In terms of what's available right now, members have access to our whole facility. The indoor pool and the outdoor pool are both open. Indoor pool is open for the lap swim, and the outdoor pool has lap swim and open swim, the splash park. Something that's different this summer was that the outdoor pool was accessible to all of our members without an added fee. So that was included with membership. And they actually extended the length of time that the outdoor pool was open for. So normally the outdoor pool will be closed at Labor Day, and now it's been extended. So as long as we can keep it open, we'll keep it open for our members. Some impact that we've had since COVID is per the governor's guidelines, we weren't able to open our locker rooms. So we don't have locker rooms available, but we do have the shower on deck for people to rinse off, and the parlor bathrooms are open. So that's one impact. A lot of our health spa members were impacted because we were not allowed to open the locker room. So they are missing out on their saunas and hot tubs. So hopefully in the future, we'll be able to get some of those things back. But for now that they're shut down. But other things that are available, we've just opened up our programs this week. So swimming lessons are back, karate is coming back, dance classes, Kids Zone. We have Kids Zone available in the afternoons. And then we've also added Aqua Kids Zone. So the parents, for anyone that doesn't know what Kids Zone is, you can drop your kids off with our staff while you're using our facility. And so Aqua Kids Zone, they'll be dropped off at the pool and they can swim. That's another added feature that we've had. That was,
There's so much more, you know, me,
Joseph going on.
Joseph, I have more to add. Hold on, we're not done.
We're not done.
We have our hoops open, which means that you can register to actually get on the basketball courts, and you can't play a game, right? We know that from CDC and Governor Baker rules, but you can register for a hoop, and you can come with your family, or you can come by yourself, and you can play hoops or sink baskets. And I think, of course, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about personal training. So there's personal training in person. We have a special room for that, so that there's a space where you can go separately and be sort of onto your own with your personal trainer. Or we actually have virtual personal training. And we also have private swim lessons. So I think that there's been things that we've increased because of COVID, you know, like clearly things were taken away because of like locker rooms, but really what we've done is we've increased other features. And then of course I would also be remiss if we didn't talk about group fitness. I would say that our Forever Fit class, which Joseph, you've been a part of before, our Forever Fitness class is as big, if not bigger than it was before. Now, we are very careful about how many we put in a room, and so we have more classes. Right, so we just, because you can only put so many people in a room. Anyway, I know I talked too much.
But on top of that, we actually have logos on the floor, Joseph, that physically distances people. So everything from cleaning equipment to physically distancing, we figured it all out to keep it safe.
Well, you know, Ellen, there's never an opportunity on the show with me that you ever are over talking the issue. So I mean, I think that's what, because I was going to, after that finish, come back, because again, I got to put right now, safety is at the top of most people's minds. So all those programs which Chris mentioned, I want someone to elaborate before I get to Sean, who talks about specific programming. I want to talk about the different cohorts. You know, I'm one of the senior guys, and so I want to know, how's the senior program affected? You talked about the youth. We're trying to deal with our young people having a question whether they're going to be returning to schools. And I know the summer camp program, which, you know, Ellen, I've come in and spoken and participated with the summer program in the past. And Sean, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to get to your specifics, but in all of this, in the pool and all, as Krista was speaking, the first thing came back to me is, how are we practicing social distancing in all of those ways? And I think, Jesse, you mentioned that. So any one of you who need to elaborate on that, please do so.
Well, I'll go ahead. I mean, from group fitness to the pool area, everything. I mean, masks are required unless you're properly physically distanced. So we have labels on the floor. We've had signage throughout the entire facility on how to properly physically distance. So we have signage like Ellen just grabbed, where every other machine is not in use. So not only that, Joseph, we're actually getting dividers that should be arriving probably any minute. We're actually going to put dividers between machines, which will actually give people even more security and safety while working out on the cardio equipment. So,
well, I'm going to go to Sean, because I know he's looking so handsome sitting there. I can tell that even with his mask on. But I want to give him an opportunity to talk about some of the, you know, the programs that are ongoing right now. For instance, like the camp, the out of school program. So, Sean, take it away.
Yeah, so absolutely. You know, we knew that once all of this kind of started, COVID and what was happening, that we had to provide some sort of care for the families, right? We know that everyone was dealing with just uncharted territories, not knowing where to send their kids and not understanding kind of what was going on, right? And so how can the Y fill the gap? And so the first thing that happened was, if you guys remember back in March and April, you know, Governor Baker did declare that we could open up some emergency child camps. So we were lucky enough to be chosen as a spot for that. So we were able to provide childcare, you know, for 80 kids of those that need it most, right? Those that are, you know, may work in the medical field, those that are single parents that need their kids to be somewhere so they can provide. It was everywhere, right? So we were able to do that. So from, you know, March all the way up until June, we were open until for that emergency childcare piece, right? And so that really kind of filled the gap for the families that needed it the most. And then the next step in being able to provide for those families was summer camp. Summer camp is such an important part of a child's life. And, for a while there, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do it or not. And so luckily enough, it did come out with the guidelines from the CDC and from the governor and from the state that kind of let us say, okay, we can still do summer camp, right? It's going to look a little bit different. Typically we're going to rock 350 kids to 400 kids here, but we weren't able to do that this summer. We knew that. And so we, went down to about 125 kids. But the first thing that comes to mind is safety. How do we keep them safe in the summer camp environment? And so they were all put into cohorts, just like you talked about cohorts in the membership piece of it, there are cohorts with childcare as well. And so those were only 10 kids that are together, right? And so we broke them up by age group, made sure they were the 10 kids, they stayed with the same 10 kids, and they stayed with the same counselors, right? And so you're not intermingling as much as you were. And so we had to adjust how we did things. And so, summer camp is known for these big events and big parties and all this other stuff, right? So we knew we couldn't do that, but how can we make it fun for the kids no matter what? And so that's what we did. And so, the counselors in the cohorts, we provided games that the kids really, really got into. They dressed up. I mean, if you came here on a Friday, you'd see Disney costumes, you'd see superheroes, you'd see color competition, and you'd see me dressed up too, but it'd be a little bit of fun for those kids. And so, we were able to provide those things. We did holidays, summer. And so the kids left here feeling like they had a summer camp experience. And I can tell you firsthand, being out there in that first day, how excited they were just to see their friends. It had been a long time since they'd seen other kids from their school, from their class. And, obviously, there's different times when you have to wear masks and you have to socially distance and do all that stuff. But being able to provide that sense of camaraderie for those kids and still have a sense of normalcy during this time frame was unlike anything I've seen in summer camp yet. And so that was huge for us. And so, over the past 11 weeks, and we're still going right now, we're still going all the way up until school starts. So 11 weeks, we've been servicing those 125 kids a week, seeing, a lot of the same families. We've been able to do things like provide food for them, through different local communities, and just being able to provide something that they can count on each and every day and let them go to work. And so that's been our summer. It has been absolutely fantastic, and we had a little heat wave in the middle there, but we navigated. And so the kids are getting through, and we had a really, really good summer.
Well, there's 2 points I want to make, and thank you so much, all of you. But in terms of Sean particularly, I mean, I have a 10-year-old grandson, and, while he has been interacting with many of his friends and classmates by virtually, et cetera, and they're doing gaming, it's not the same. I can remember myself during the summers, I'd hit the street at 8 o'clock in the morning, go home for lunch, go back to the park and play a whole bunch of different types of games and then go home. But when I was growing up, the street light was our clock. When the street lights came on, that was the time to go in. So that was it. But I think the other thing I was thinking about as I sat here, having visited the camp in the past, I don't remember. I think it's the rope net. Is that what you have? Is the rope net? That's one of my favorite. Difficult, but the rope net was there.
Yeah, we do. We have a ropes course in our back, and unfortunately, when it comes to COVID, we had to adjust. And right, so this was actually something we couldn't use that. But that doesn't mean we didn't show the kids what it was and kind of teach them about the ropes course, because we do want them to know in future years, hopefully fingers crossed, we'll get back to using those types of things. But we were able to provide pool every single day, swimming with the kids, being able to social distance in the pool. You still be able to provide, sports and individual drills, all different kinds of great stuff for those kiddos. But yeah, the rope net, that's hard. So if you did it, I'm proud of you, Joseph. That's great.
I didn't say I did it. I said I saw it. There is a difference. But I was just going to say, since we're doing restrictions, maybe I can come over there during this month or next month and try it out. Now that I did do that at Thompson Island, but those were back in the day when I could do that. So maybe I'll have to try it again. I want to come back to you for a minute, Kristen, before I go to my great friend and the vice president on some issues, because part of what I want to do here, I want the community and our listening, viewing audience to understand fully what a treasure the Y is to our community and why it warrants support. And I'll come back to you on that particular point. But part of the support comes in one way, and that's through the membership, Kristen. What is the memberships looking like in this age of COVID? Because if you will, to be able to disclose that. That I would suspect that there's been some impact. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So right now, our members, there are a lot of members that are not comfortable coming back. But we have a lot of people that are comfortable coming back. To say that we're at full capacity right now, we're not. Our building is limited on how many people we can have in, and right now we've probably sometimes hit 50% of that. We need our members to come back. A lot of members are on hold right now, and some have left us. We don't think that they'll leave us forever, but hopefully when this all is said and done, that they'll come back. Our membership right now, we do have membership for all. So if people are struggling with their finances due to COVID, we are here for them. We will have scholarship available if they need assistance financially. Because we're a nonprofit, all of our membership helps to support those members that are in need. We want everybody in our community to be able to come and visit us, join us, and be able to use our services. Right now, we're in this pandemic, this crisis. It doesn't only affect you physically, but mentally. The social aspect of coming to the Y will be wonderful for the people to be able to see each other. I guess you do have to social distance, but at least being able to see your friends from a distance can really help you mentally. But yes, we do need our members to come back, and all of our membership base, it supports everything that we do, from our programs to supporting our people in the community.
Well, this is a good segue to go to you, Madam Vice President. Because I want to talk about what it needs to run the operation, what the needs are. Yes, membership is a part of it, but there's also the donations. We had an anniversary celebration last year. I think it was the 10th anniversary. Mm-hmm. I think 20, I can't remember, time passes on me, but we had an anniversary. Talk about what it means. I'm sure that I've seen the solicitation letters that have come from the Y. How are things going as far as that type of, I'll call it love support from the community with regards to the Y?
So I think there's a lot of things here that we could share. So although Kristen is talking about membership pays for the Y, that's not really truly what pays for what we do here. It might help pay for the building, but it does not pay for summer camp. It does not pay for support scholarship for after school kids. It does not pay for for anybody that needs support in membership. So donations are incredibly important. I can't even begin to share with you the level of importance. So we are feeding 5,000 families a week here from this Stoughton branch. So if you go to my auditorium, and maybe we can somehow figure this out, or we can do something else in the future. There is a pile of food there that we support our community with. So that's one area. The second area might be anybody who needs. Clearly, if you call and you say, "I need food," we go to the store and we will buy you food. Our job is to support our community in whatever way we can. So your donation, if people support us, when people support us, their donation goes towards the things I talked about. Maybe food, maybe a membership for somebody who couldn't potentially use it before, or maybe it's for a scholarship for a kid to camp, send a kid to camp. We do that, this year because we didn't have as many kids, but the kids we had to support at a greater level. Or all of the other things like after school. So we support, I don't know how much after school, we didn't really talk about it much, but we provide after school for Stoughton families, for Randolph families, for Canton families. It's camping, all of those things for the community around us. And so it's not just Stoughton, although, clearly most of our members come from Stoughton, but it's really for the whole community. It's whatever is needed to support the people that are here. And it could be even to help people find jobs, or there's just so much that we do that's mental health. She talked about isolation, but we have mental health clinicians. I mean, there's just so many pieces to what we do that I think it's hard to get it all out there. Part of it's because we're such a large organization overall, but our Stoughton branch is just a small piece of it. So.
Well, I know that you're a part of Old Colony, and you have Brockton, and you have Easton, and you have all of that. But at my first love, I'm parochial. I'm thinking about Stoughton. So therefore, I recognize that your board members and all cover all of those things. And as you know, I've said several times, and I repeat it over and over, I'm a Y kid. I went to the Y in Flushing YMCA in New York. From the age of 9 through 12, learned my judo, learned my basketball. Learn when you could do, I forget, what's the game we used to play where we throw the real ball and bounce it off your head, dodgeball, and all of those things. Now I know you got to use a Nerf ball, but that's okay because of the changed rules. But what I'm saying, I learned my swimming and went up to the Shark. So, I mean, it always was a place, and you talk about that camaraderie. My good buddy who I've known from 1957, 7 years old, we in contact now. We used to go to the Y. We learned our judo and all. So the Y has been an experience, but that shows you how that growth. My grandson did the Y, both in Boston, Dorchester, Hyde Park, and other Roxbury Y. So the Y has definitely been in the family. But I want to elaborate on some of the other programs where some of the support can be given by our viewing audience. I know you mentioned the food. I'm going to call it the food pantry, but the giving of food. Kristen mentioned the membership. You mentioned the after school. Ellen, mental health is one of my ministries because of my own personal circumstances. So I'm always supportive of that. And particularly in this time, there's an article in the Globe yesterday which talked about the impact of COVID on people, isolation, depression, etc. But let's talk about two other programs. I know you alluded to them, and I'm not sure if it's going to be you or it's going to be Sean or one of the others. Talk about our seniors program and talk about our veterans program. Those are two programs that I know I'm familiar with, but let's speak particularly to that population.
So I think if we start with the veterans program, I think it goes along with everything we do, that we are community-based, right? So whatever our community is looking to do, we're going to figure out a way to support it. So for most, currently, what we're doing is, especially in COVID times, right? We are just welcoming them in our facility, but that goes for everybody. As a matter of fact, next week is welcoming week here at the Y. And so we talk a lot about welcoming everybody from every nationality to any walk of life, right? That's what the Y stands for. The Y stands for everyone, not just those of us that look like each other or look like ourselves, right? So, and a veteran group is another group that we want to make sure we support. In terms of our seniors, so I'm being a little bit my own personal thing, but seniors are our membership. Like that, those are the people that connect. Like I've known for years, right? I've been here in this building since 2006. And I'm going to tell you that those seniors are my favorite members. It's not that we don't love our families and we don't love our regular members and their individuals. It's that our seniors make this a community. They provide for that community. We have a garden. We have a senior who is managing our garden. And then he's working with the kids in summer camp to understand what gardening is all about. I mean, there's just so much that seniors can give back. And so not only do we want to give to them, but we want to engage them in our world, in our community. So their mental health is in a prime place. As a matter of fact, before we actually opened our physical doors, we were doing group fitness outside for those seniors. And I think we're doing it for other people too, but our focus, our seniors want to be engaged, right? Our people want to be engaged. So for seniors, if they're living alone, or even if they have a small group of nucleus of people that they can see, they can come here and they can have friends here. They don't have to be close to them. We're closer than most people would ever be in our gym. right? But they're seeing their faces, they're smiling, they're happy. So for me, senior populations are in need of physical health, emotional health, and overall health. I mean, we just need to be, even intellectual health. I mean, just the conversations they're having, right? So anyway, I'm a big fan of my seniors.
Well, I remember when we first ran our first group fitness class outside, and it was the same experience I think Sean saw with his kids at camp. These seniors were giddy to see each other again and have that, like they were I think they were talking more than exercising because they were finally had the chance to catch up in a safe environment that we provided them. And I was surprised. Our senior group was probably the fastest group to come back on board with us, which is contradictory of what we heard about the virus, right? But they have been some of our strongest group fitness participants and members coming back and work out. So,
and they're the ones communicating. So we have around our facility a lot of things going on, but we have a lot of things. We have QR codes around our facility to say, how are we doing, right? And on our app, we say, how are we doing? And they are the ones that respond, that say, they strongly agree to our cleanliness. They are so happy with the way that we are keeping this facility. And there are telltale signs, I guess if you could say. They're the ones that would say to us, look, we see something there that doesn't look clean. And or we see something that you should think about doing differently. And we're not hearing that. They are just so happy to be back. And I think for any member who comes in, that's how they feel. I mean, it's just that we see those senior members we know. You know, they're our morning group. They come in, they're happy. It's wonderful.
Well, that's the reason why I wanted to, beside being in that cohort myself, I wanted to mention it simply because of the intergenerational relationship that are established there. It's also, we know that many of our seniors live alone and they're in the isolation. So that camaraderie that you refer to, Jesse, I'm sure took place there as a result of that. And I just, and I know they have the staying power, they have the desire to support. And I saw that because I was part of that early morning crowd that took the different classes, sometimes being one of the few males in some of those classes, which certainly made me feel good, surrounded by all those women. But nonetheless, I applaud their effort. And I know that our senior center, I think Tuesday was senior day, and the senior center from Stoughton Senior Center would bring folks over to the Y. So I think that that's very, very important. Talk about a little bit about the mental health services as well. I know you have the mental health, and you also have the persons who are getting physical therapy. I don't know if that's by contract or whatever, but I know physical therapy is there as well. And then I would want any one of you, maybe that's your area, Jesse, to talk about the personal training and what folks are able to do in this climate. And I'm gonna throw all my questions out so I can shut up. Maybe I don't do it too well. But I also want to talk about that when you make the reservation, you make a reservation for a set time, and then you're gonna go under this COVID piece. So I want you to talk about all of those operational pieces in that. And if you forget any of those things that I've just mentioned, I'll restate them. But go ahead, any one of you.
I'm gonna let Jesse do the PT and the Motion Vibe, the whole reservation system. I'm going to talk a little bit about Bay State Physical Therapy. So Bay State Physical Therapy has been here for about, I don't know how many years, probably about 8 years now. And they are a great partner. And we love having them in the building. They are very busy, very operational, very safe. And they sort of abide by our standards and what we're doing, but I think they have them anyway. So it's a great relationship. They do lease from us. They do lease space from us, but we have a good relationship. And they use for their clients, they use our pool, they use our fitness centers. So it's a good relationship. In terms of our mental health capacity and facilities, I think that sort of stems, and that's when I like to talk about Old Colony Y as a overall organization. So what we're talking to you about today is really our branch operation, right? Stoughton's branch operation. But we have 7 branches like us. We're the best, by the way. But seven branches, right? And then on the other side of operations, we have a social service side. And social service does everything from DCF detention units to supporting
We
families.
can't use acronyms on there, so we talk about the Department of Children and Families, so that everyone knows.
Yes, thank you. And I think, and then, for those families experiencing homelessness, we have 3 homes for them. We have support. We have support around our community for those families. So I think what happens is we have a network of operations, right? Not branch operations, but operations in another area that brings in a mental health clinic, that brings all these things to our branches. And that's why we have this resource. So in Stoughton, our family life support, sort of family life center has supports here. They actually have support people here who are social workers who can help us with anything that's children related. We tend to work with them with children. And then of course we have the mental health clinic out of Brockton that we bring our mental health clinicians to our center for regular hours to sort of go to meet with people if they need to. And I think it's just, we want to be able to service the community as they need it. And we don't always know. So there might be a situation, I will tell you about a situation about 5 years ago. There was this older woman, who's still a member, by the way, who walked into the building and she looked dejected, and I happened to be in the lobby, right? And I something that looked familiar to me, but not overly. And I just said, "Oh, how are you today? It's so nice to see you," sort of like cheering somebody up. And she's like, "My husband died and I've been out of the house for 3 months." So that was, to me, that was a red flag. She was here, which was great, but I put her in touch with a mental health clinician because I felt like there's nothing I can do. I'm not a social worker, right? I don't have those skills. And she's so happy, and she's very fulfilled now, and things are good. But I think that's what we do. We're genuine people who want to support people wherever they are. So hopefully that.
Passionate person, so therefore, and you have the empathy, and I wish that would extend to other places in the United States, but I'll leave that subject alone.
But I hope Joseph, it's cultural. Like, this is cultural for our Y, right? It's not just me. Oftentimes we talk about that. What does it look like it's not just as a leader, it's that the it's part of who we are as a team. There would not be one person in my building that I would say would not bring that to someone's attention if they had that same experience. Kristen, right? Her team they're the first people you see, and they're empathetic and responsible, and we're very lucky to have the team that we have.
Well, I know we talked about Jesse, but I want Kristen and Sean to jump in wherever you deem appropriate. As of right now, we're down to about 18 minutes left on the program, and there's some things we want to do. I want you to to give us whatever you think you would want our viewing audience to know. But we're going to go to Jesse now because he wanted to talk about. I had asked a question about one who can get the trainer, and mention about the issue of when you schedule or make a reservation, what that means in terms of how long you can stay at the facility and what you might be able to do.
Why don't we do reservation first? So every member, we have an app now on the App Store called Old Colony YMCA. We actually launched it this week. Beautiful app. It shows everything that we offer, from group fitness to kids zone to the outdoor pool, indoor pool, lap lanes, indoor track, hoops. So it's all can be reserved on there. It's 72 hours in advance, opens up per segment. So if you want to book a workout time, you can book it 72 hours in advance. And then we have multiple time slots throughout the day from 7 to 6 p.m. And most of them are 75 minutes long, workout time. And then when it ends, they leave the building for 15 minutes. We clean the facility. And if they want, they can reserve again and go for a longer workout. Or they can book out their week. The nice thing about the app is a person can say, hey, I want to swim on Wednesday. I want to do Forever Fit on Tuesday. I want to work out. They can actually plan their whole week. There's actually this nice little button too. You can click a star button next to the activity that they like. And then that will actually remind them when it comes up for reserve. They'll get an email saying, hey, you liked this last time. Why don't you book it again? So from a service level, it's fantastic. And I actually think it lets members know how much we truly offer. when you go on there now, you see everything that we do throughout the day, from swimming to hoops to workout time. Whatever you want to do here physically, you can do. Personal training is a big focus of us right now, trying to rebuild that program. Our trainers are training in-house. We built them their own private room for their training clients. One, because it's a nice focus for the client with their trainer to have that private space by themselves. Also, for cleaning purposes, it's very easy to clean. We also do virtual personal training. So someone like yourself, Joseph, that's not quite back yet, you can contact me and I can set you up. So, but they same thing, different packages, 5 packs, 10 packs of training you can do virtually, and we have that set up here for the trainers to do. And then another one I wanted to mention is on demand at the club. Is we have a room that specifically you can walk up to an iPad, pick a group fitness class you want to do, and a virtual trainer comes on the TV, a very large TV, and you can actually work out privately on your own or with a small group of people in that room. So, and then another piece of Smallest Winner, we are running that. That's one of our big programs here. Smallest Winner is a 12-week weight loss program where we're doing it in-house and virtually. You get 12 weeks of 1-hour sessions with your team per week, and then you get 30 minutes with your personal trainer per week as well. And that's running right now. Weigh-in week is next week, and then it launches on September 20th. So check that out. That's on our Facebook and our website.
And that helps with COVID-19.
Yeah, lose the quarantine 19, Joseph.
Well, what I did was, the lawyer and me, I grabbed my phone. I just pulled up the app.
There we go.
I can't remember my username and password, but I'll talk to Kristen later on. And
that's what you do. Yeah.
In terms of how to get on there. But I have it up here now, and I keep saying, Jesse, I want to look like you, so therefore I may have to call you for that personal training page for sure.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Kristen or Sean, anything you want to emphasize here? Because I would like to do that walk around, if that made sense, if the camera would work. But, Sean or Kristen, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, I would just welcome everybody that's watching. If you haven't been to the Stoughton Y, or if you're on the fence about coming back to the gym, or not sure, that we are doing tours. So we'll take you on a tour right after here with the camera. But if you just want to come in and learn about what's going on here and see if you feel safe, we are definitely open for having people to come in and doing tours around the building.
And
Or virtually.
A virtual tour.
We can do a virtual tour too. Yep.
well, as soon as I get my username and password, I'm going to take you up on trying to find out how to navigate this for sure. But Sean, anything you want to add at this point?
I think you saved the best for last. So, I think, so I think, as right now, schools are starting to come right back up, right? So we know that within this week and next week, families are starting to get back into a little bit of a flow, right? So every different school system has either hybrid or they have fully remote learning. And there's some parents that are keeping the kids home from school. So we know this is a big challenge that's upcoming for them, right? It's a big change. Their schedules are changing. The kids' schedules are changing. So we are trying to meet the needs of those families. So right now we do have confirmed, we have programming for out of school time for both Stoughton and Randolph. Just quickly, Stoughton, we are going to provide care on the days that the kids have remote learning. That means that the days that they are not in school, these kiddos can come to our branch from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. where we will assist them in their Zoom calls and making sure that they're focusing and making sure that they get what they need during those calls. In addition to that, the Y is always going to provide physical activity. We're going to provide arts and crafts. We're going to provide STEM. We're going to keep up with our themes. So these kids are going to have a lot of things to do from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on those days that they will not be in school. And those families can get to work and get back from work, and we will be here for them during that time frame. In Randolph, we are lucky enough, we started with them last year in a partnership to provide care for those kids. And we're actually going to be in the 4 elementary schools. That's JFK, that's Young, that's Lyons, and that's Donovan. We'll be in there before school and after school for the days that the kids are in school. So a little bit different than Stoughton, but we're going to be starting up at 7 a.m. until school starts in every one of those schools. And then we'll be providing care when they get out of school until dismissal time at 6 o'clock. And so we are excited to be in those schools, continuing that partnership with Randolph. They have been fantastic to us. But knowing that those families might need a little bit earlier drop off with the school start a little bit later, and needing care after school so they can go to work. And so those are our two major things. We are looking to get some space for full day programming in Randolph. We expect that to happen soon. And then we're obviously trying to figure out some space for the surrounding communities. Canton comes to mind off the top of my head, but we are looking to provide care for those families that need it the most. And we know that this is a difficult time for all of them. So the Y is here for them. Just like we did in summer camp, we're going to be as safe as possible, keep them in cohorts, keep them in their schools, and provide all these different options in a place where the kids can still get some socialization, which we know will help with their emotional, mental, social, physical, all the above health as much as possible. That's why we're here. And so that's our big challenge next. We are looking forward to it. But please, families, if you're listening, check out our website, call me, do what you got to do, but we're looking forward to it.
Well, this has been great, and Ellen, you and I are such good friends, and I always like to do this, an opportunity to speak to my wires, about what's going on, and to have our community know what the events that you are and programs that you have. If we can, we have about 10 minutes. I'm probably going to, if we can do this with the camera and do some walking around to show folks wherever you want to go to in the facility, maybe we can do that. We can talk with, all of you can join however you want to in terms of on this walking tour, take folks through it. And then, if I see a need to talk over, but as you're getting that set up, I definitely want to encourage our viewing audience to definitely check out our Stoughton YMCA. If you are not involved as a member, try and be a member. If you have some extra dollars that you can do to support some of the programming that the Y has, and certainly go down and take a tour. And so now I want them to, we talked about what they have done about the social distancing and trying to make sure that everyone is safe. So we're going to do a little walk around the facility. So Ellen, take it away.
All right. So I think I have Kristen and
is it on that or is it on this?
and Jesse walking around with it. Can you see us?
Yes. Well, I can't see you, but I see the facility. I see Kristen. Yes.
Okay. Well, Kristen, go behind the computer so you can't see. Okay. That's
Oh,
fine. So we're
it's
just
on.
gonna, Jesse, you can talk through it.
Yes, this is our new Studio X fitness facility. Due to the physical distancing of the machines and safety, we actually brought a full complement of our machines into this space, which has strength training equipment, all our mix of cardio, a free weight area. When you book a reservation, you can come into our main fitness facility or here. So this is our second workout space. We can work towards our main fitness facility, Joseph. Our indoor track is open. We actually, in the gym as well, we hold group fitness classes because we can get our capacity to around 40 students there, physically distanced.
Jesse, I think it's cleaning time, so you might be able to get
Oh, good.
that
So
space.
so Joseph, this is one of our cleaning times.
Okay.
So you will see it looks a little different than the last time you're here. The equipment is distanced, and also, first I'll show you this room. Those are the espresso bikes, which kids love to use, and adults. And then we have treadmills over there now.
Wow, I see my machine.
Yeah, you see your machine?
Yeah, well, I use the one by the window. I see it. That's always the way I like to look outdoors. So that's
Over, that's a nice space over there.
Yep.
Here's Sean with the fogger. This is how we clean the machine.
And as you said, Sean, that there's a 15-minute period between all of your sessions, and that's what you do, take care of all the machines beside what the users do when they start using the machine and when they leave the machine. Is that correct?
That's correct. So the team just swept through here. Sean put a little icing on the cake hitting that machine. So this facility has now been cleaned for the next block of people coming in. So currently they're outside, and then we try to bring them in as smooth and quickly as possible. And then they just check in like they always would, which we'll go over there and show you that space, Joseph. What is cut through their strength training equipment?
I see the machines I use. I'm loving
Yeah,
it.
Yep. And Joseph, just so you know, what happens is a lot of the equipment is still wet because what we do is we wet it and we let it sit. That's what you're supposed to do for the cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah, we soak them and then they dry up by the time they come in.
Are you going to the auditorium?
Yeah, we can show them the auditorium too, but here's where you check in, Joseph, you'll see.
Okay.
You check in here, and then also here's where you grab your disinfectant bottle, and then you get rid of it here, and then we clean them. And then any membership issues, Sean's going to fix his membership right now. He's going to take it off hold and rejoin. And that's that.
Now, what about if, do you have masks there in case someone just happens to come by and forgot their mask in the car or home or whatever the case may be?
So Joseph, I have masks, but I really do encourage everybody to bring their own mask. In today's world, everybody should have a mask. And we don't allow anybody in the building without a mask.
I know there's some organizations that are being helpful with providing organizations with those masks. I will try to see if I can make some connections for you.
Oh, thank you. So we turn the auditorium into a spinning room. And then also here shows you how much food that we have that we are helping those 5,000 families.
Wow.
And you'll see that the workers will put them in very hefty bags for the families and deliver them personally.
So do you have delivery as well as pickup?
Yes. Yes, the answer is yes. Both delivery and pickup, it depends on the situation. So most of us deliver the product, but then we have delivery from organizations that bring us food.
Can maybe this would be a good time, and I know it's the worst thing when you try to mention some, you may forget some, but I'll just put it out. Could you give an example of some of the organizations that have been supportive as far as providing some of the food for you to distribute?
You know what, Joseph, I don't know all the different organizations that have, but there's definitely, can't answer that. I can get you that information and then.
Well, I take it that, maybe this is something you put on your app, put on your website, you're going to thank them anyway. But my sense is this has been a community effort is what I basically want to underscore.
So, exactly. And you know what, Melville Candy, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but they're in Randolph. I'm on the Randolph Chamber because, it's one of our communities that we service. And Melville Candy, what they did is they actually gave us a bunch of items. I don't know how long ago, Jesse, but we put a surprise treat in the package each week, because we're not giving food we don't want to give them crap food, but we want to give them something that's fun. So they have mostly of their items are marshmallow based, and so that's kind of a fun thing that we've done with these 5,000 meals.
Let me just, before our time is waning at this particular point in time, and I want to come back to the funding and sources again, because I've always said to you, how does one get a banner up there on the wall and those types of things around the fundraising? Have you, in light of coronavirus, have you designated some other ways in which folks can contribute in terms of categories, et cetera? Just in a few moments that we have, we only got about 2.5 minutes, Ellen. Talk to us about some of those things.
So we're actually doing a virtual fundraiser right now. And what our goal is with that is basically, if you have a goal, so if, let's say John Smith has a goal to read more, right? And they want to say something like, I want to read 10 books in the next 2 months, and I'm going to have people support me to do that. They could do that on our Y website. So literally they would raise money for the Y, but they would be doing something for themselves and their friends could support them to do it. So it could be losing weight. It could be reading a book. It could be taking a bike ride. It could be walking every day. It could be whatever goals, we all have to continue to have goals even during COVID, right? We cannot stop, at least in my opinion, we can't stop thinking of what's our next thing, right? Even our next things in our house, or our next trip we can take when we can take it, or whatever it is. We all need goals. So that's one of the areas that we're doing. You can, in our, I don't know if we didn't really show you, but we do have banners up in our fitness center, and you do, people, businesses and people will buy a banner for $1,000. It is a complete donation, but your name goes up there. And it's just a nice, I mean, from my perspective, it's just a nice thing to do. And $1,000, I mean, I can't speak for anybody specifically, but businesses, it's not a necessarily difficult thing. We will also be doing our spin-a-thon, which we do every year. We will be beginning to start that ramp up.
Well, Ellen, I know that you have all your litany of it, and I'll leave it this way. For everything that you have as far as the fundraising, could you make sure that SMAC is aware of what you have, so Michael Hammond can put that up, because our time is, this has been such a great time with the four of you. Thank you for giving this tour as part of the program. I'm going to encourage our viewing audience to support the Y in any meaningful way that you can, by fundraising, participating in some of the programs, having your children go there, having our seniors go there. So again, I applaud the work that you do there at the Y. Ellen, I support you, and I want to thank you for doing this program and bid you a great day.
Thank you so much, Joseph.
Thank you.